binge eating look like?
What does binge eating look like?
It looks like
Anybody on the street. I feel like a lot of times we assume that people with eating disorders are supposed to look a specific way, like someone's supposed to have eating disorder on their head written everywhere, but it's not like that. It can be anyone on the street. This is why it's so important to be kind to whoever you meet.
Binge eating started for me back probably in the beginning of college. That was a big turning point in my life. I needed to start becoming more of an adult. I was living away from my family, meeting new people. It was a very stressful time in my life, and to deal with all that stress, I was emotionally eating.
it really started when I got injured. I had knee surgery, so I was out of training for about 9 months. So every single day, I would just be really anxious and I would eat everything. It was really embarrassing. I went from 175 pounds to 220 pounds.
The worst was when I was doing the summer shred challenge and I entered the contest, working out and just really on top of everything. I would track my macros all day perfectly, and then at night, I just felt like something took over my body and I would just eat everything in sight.
It's something that I hide from people. I don't really tell anybody except for a few close friends, and it's embarrassing because I have, a health and wellness Instagram and a website, and I'm promoting eating healthy and being the best version of yourself. But then on the inside, I have my own struggles with eating, and I don't like to share that part of me because that kind of just shows that I'm not perfect.
I had a really bad childhood, so I was always anxious. The way I dealt with my anxiety was eating a lot of food, drinking lots of alcohol, taking a lot of drugs. I gained 50 pounds and I said, enough is enough. I don't need to gain any more weight. Because I fight and I train, I can't afford to be that heavy, and put the workload that I do.
I felt like that I wasn't strong enough, that I wasn't tough to get through it. And I definitely want to let you know that just because you're struggling with an eating disorder, I want you to know that it doesn't mean that you're weak. It's okay. Now looking back, I did the right thing. Dropping out of the challenge, I did the right thing, putting my health first. Don't ever think that you're weak because you're struggling with a disorder.
It was sort of like an out-of-body experience. It felt like it wasn't really me. It was somebody else taking over my body in those moments. Just feeling this emptiness inside of me that I'm trying to fill. I think that emptiness was a lack of self-love for myself, and kind of a way of self-harm. For instance, some people, they cut themselves, they do other things to harm themselves, and my way of doing that was overeating to the point that my stomach hurt and I felt disgusted with myself.
How does it feel like being a man that struggled with binge eating? I mean, don't matter if you're a man, woman, child, elderly, people have their own struggles within themselves. I look like your typical bro that goes to the gym. I look like a typical fighter, but everybody has their own struggles.
When I was struggling through it, I told a few of my friends, and a lot of people, their reaction wasn't even serious. One of my friends actually asked me, well, do you throw up? And I said no. And he said, well, then it's not an issue. Binge eating was put in the DSM-5 just recently compared to anorexia and bulimia. I feel like a lot of people don't know that it is a serious issue, that it is a disorder. So a lot of people can live through their entire life not knowing that they have a binge eating disorder because they're not well informed about it. So I definitely say that not to overlook it.
Is involving food, and compared to being addicted to drugs or alcohol, I would say it's more embarrassing to come out and ask for help because everybody has to eat. And sometimes people can't understand, like, how are you addicted to eating? Like, well, just stop eating. And it's really not that simple.
I just want to help people. I really want to help people, and I remember telling myself when I was up at 2 a.m. looking for help that when I get through this, I'm gonna help people in any way that I can. And I hope that this video helps someone out there that is struggling with it, someone to feel like they're not alone. The advice I have for someone who's struggling with it would be working on loving yourself more every single day. Binge eating isn't something that I don't think anyone's really proud of. We tend to be quiet about it, and because of that, a lot of people do feel alone in the process. So I just want to let you know that you're not alone, and it does get better.